Hello everyone, this is Tammy Wilgenbush with Card Designs by Tammy. Today I have another sneak peek of our new or the upcoming January through June 2022 mini catalog. And I've shown you this during the unboxing I did a few videos ago, but today we're going to use the Rainbow of Happiness stamp set and accompanying dies. In addition to, now in the mini catalog, this set does not come with accompanying paper, but Sale-a-bration, which will be going on in January and February of 2022, in the Sale-a-bration catalog, there will be a set of paper that coordinates with the Rainbow of Happiness set. In order to get this paper, in January or February, you would have to spend $50 and then you would get the paper for free. And the paper is called Sunshine and Rainbows. And it's 48 6x6 sheets that are double-sided, so there's 12 designs. So these are the designs here. And again, I showed these before, so I'll go kind of quickly, but just enough so you can see all the different designs. And I'm really excited about the paper and the stamp set and dies, honestly. I think we're going to be able to do some really cute things. Now, in the mini catalog, there also is a cloud punch. And so this sheet here, you will be able to punch out these clouds. It does have kind of a nice, pretty general other side, but that'll be nice to be able to get. So it will have dies, and then it'll have kind of that accompanying cloud punch. So these are all of the papers, and I love the bright, vibrant colors that are in this. And they just have lots of really cute designs. So getting close to being done here. And then this is the last one here. And these are kind of cute because you'd be able to actually fussy cut out these little rainbows as well if you wanted. But that's kind of a nice neutral side as well. So that's the designer series paper. And this is the stamp set, and you can see it has 4 individual parts of the rainbow that are solid, and then it has one that also has a saying that is the same size as this, and you'll see how I used it. Now you could actually stamp this probably over that, or just use it in place of one of the parts of the rainbow. And then this one is the same size as this one here. So you can kind of mix and match what you want your rainbow to look like. Has some different sayings. You make me happy. You make this world a better place. Sending you a rainbow of happiness. A little something to brighten your day. And thank you. And then it just has these other nice little stamps that are good for backgrounds. So very pretty stamp set. And you'll see me use quite a bit of that today. And then these are the Rainbow Brilliant Rainbow dies. And you can see that it has a big kind of partial rainbow, a smaller rainbow, some clouds. I'm not sure with that. I have all these printed out. It's just going to be like a little scalloped piece, I guess. The one thing I don't like about it is it does leave a ridge, so you could probably put it with some paper over and have a nice little ridge there, and probably die cut a bunch of them. Has a nice border die, and then this die here, which I think will be good for some sentiments. And I kind of printed out or punched out a lot of the dies so you could see kind of what they look like. Now this here is this bigger die. I just kind of put it over the paper just like that. And then it die cuts out these pieces here, which you could use to make, you could glue to the paper to make part of a rainbow. You could cut these out in various colors and put them together to make a rainbow. Or as you'll see, I've used this piece as and kind of used the negative of the die and put it over the top of designer series paper. So this is probably one of my favorite dies, and I'll show you a couple different cards, and I'm going to make a card with it today. This here is this die here that you can punch a little sentiment in. And then I have the little clouds. So even this double cloud here, it punches out 2 individual clouds. So just little clouds that you could put at the end of your rainbows. I didn't yet, but I will have to because they look really cute at the end of rainbows. And then this is what... Okay, I just cut my nails today and I can't get the dies off. So this is what this die looks like on the paper. And again, you can use the negative or you can use the little pieces here. And I've kind of mixed and matched and cut them out in different colors. And then you could just, you know, make another little rainbow there. And I really like it using it on top of the bottom. It'll show you where I stamped a sentiment. And again, it allows like the designer series paper to show through. And then this here is the border punch or die. And again, that's really pretty. The one thing I haven't figured out yet is it kind of ends. I mean, this one here is easy. There's a little bit, I can just cut it off. But even on my example, I'm you know, getting it to where it sits right there, where it all ends, was difficult. Finding just that right size. And the other thing that I've noticed is it does leave a little dent in the cardstock. Again, if you're using it with designer series paper over, you won't be able to see it, but it's still a really pretty die. So those are all the dies cut out, and let me show you a few cards that I've done so you can see the dies in action, and then I'm going to make just a couple cards. This here, you can see where I used the negatives there and then the border punch die right there. And again, you can kind of see where it came off on the top, and I tried to line it up. It was okay down here, but not up there. And this is a standard card. So I think in order to make sure that you're getting all solid, it'd have to be a little bit smaller than a standard card. So if you're going to use it for a border like I did on the front of a card, there might be part of the rainbow that's left unfinished, but that's actually fine with me. I think it's very cute. And then that's what I did with the inside. Again, just layering all of those different parts of the rainbow there. So this is this one, and again, you can kind of see the designer series paper peeking through the negatives, which I really like. We're going to be making one like this. So again, this shows that larger die cut out, and again, I just kind of did that same for the inside. And then the envelopes, I've done that. I stamped the little hearts kind of right in the middle, and I can't remember if I did that. I didn't do that in here, but there's some of those little designs, like it has raindrops, or the hearts can go kind of in the middle there, just like I did on that one. And sorry if you can hear my dog howling in the background. Let's see, and I wanted to show one. This is one where I used that fun die for a sentiment, and honestly, I was just using some of the leftover paper. And you can also see some of those background stamps there. I have kind of the little hash marks, the raindrops and the flowers there, and just some clear epoxy dots there. And then just the little single rainbow in the corner there. So there's that one. And then this one here is one that I'm also going to make. Again, I just wanted to show off some of the different parts layering the rainbow there. So, and we're going to make this card first. All right, so I have all of my pieces here, and I've done some gluing down just to make this go a little bit faster. But for this card, I'm using Mango Melody for the background and Magenta Madness for the accent colors. And so this is just a regular standard card base for 5.5 by 8.5 folded, so it's 4 1/4. And then I have a Magenta Madness in the back that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I did the paper here at 3 7/8 and 5 1/8. So this border is narrower. The border between the Magenta Madness and the Designer Series paper is narrower than the other one because I wanted to get as much of the Designer Series paper in there as possible. And then this square of Magenta Madness is 3 1/8 by 3 1/8 inches. And then the white is 3 by 3 that we're going to be stamping on. So again, I've already glued the Designer Series paper onto the Magenta Madness and glued it to the car front. I've also already done the inside there with a scrap that was left over from when I cut this down, because it's starts with a 6 by 6 sheet. So I made some of the cutoff there. So what we're going to do for this is we're going to I'm going to show you how to layer a lot of these pieces here. And like I said, we have our large part of the rainbow, and then we would have another one of these that is this size, but I'm going to use the words here, the Sending You a Rainbow of Happiness. And again, we'd also have a solid of this size, but I wanted to use the hash marks, and then we have the smallest one. So I am going to, first of all, get my foam sheet underneath here because it's going to help these with the clear polymer. It helps to set it a little bit better. I'm going to take Magenta Madness, if I can get it open here. Okay, and so we're going to take this large one in Magenta Madness. And you could stamp off if you wanted it not quite so dark, but I want it nice and dark, and excuse my head while I get it kind of all lined up there. Since this is only 3 inches, it's actually a very narrow margin. You could do a little bit bigger, but again, I wanted the white pieces and this piece here as narrow as possible so you could see more of the Designer Series paper. All right. So that was the Magenta Madness, and then I'm going to do Bermuda Bay for the words. And again, if you do this correctly, they all just line up. And you could either try to line up at the bottom. I think I try to line up at the top, honestly. I thought when I was initially going to do these that I would start at the bottom and go up, but I found myself using the largest one, partly because that's where we have to know how big everything is going to be. And then I'm going to use the Mango Melody for the next layer here. And then I have Petal Pink for this lightest layer, for the smallest one. There we go. And for the inside here, I am, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and use, and I stuck that in the wrong ink pad. That's what I get for having all of my inks open. There, let me move them there so I can see. That's okay. You know what? I'm just going to wash it off real quick and stick it back in here. Actually, I'm going to do 2 layers here on the inside. And I'm going to do that on the card too. So let me do the yellow again. And the Petal Pink. There we go. And let me see, what do I want to put in the middle? I think I am going to, let's do the hearts. I have to, oops, got things sticking all over. Okay, so I'm going to do the little heart, and I'm going to do it in the Magenta Madness. And I'm just going to stick it right in the middle there. And it just looks very cute. And just adds a little something extra. It's like a tiny little thing, but it just really fills that in and finishes that off. Wipe that off real good. So there we go. Now let's glue this on. Actually, I'll just use my Stampin' Seal Plus. Put this and then I'm going to take some Magenta Madness ribbon, and I'm just going to tie a knot. Nothing special. I'm not going to do a big bow or anything. Just a simple knot here. Okay, now for some reason I'm having a hard time with that on the spool. So we'll just cut it off and get this tied. Having a really hard time with just doing a little knot today. There we go. Okay. And then we're gonna pop this up on dimensionals. Perfect. I love dimensionals. They add just some nice height to it. Although I don't know if anybody else ever finds these. I've been finding it I've been doing a lot of cards lately with Christmas cards, and I've been finding dimensionals all over my house. I don't know if that happens to anybody else, but it does me. Okay, and then I'm going to use some of the 2020 to 2022 enamel dots here. So I have the Magenta Madness. Give it a little bit of extra color. And we are done with that card. So it's really fun. You can see how nicely all the different parts of the rainbow layer there. Very easy. And you don't even need the dies. This one doesn't have any of the dies. But just pairing that with the designer series paper that comes with Sale-a-bration just makes a very, very cute card. So for the next card, we're going to use the big die. And so I've already done a little bit of pre-cutting and gluing on this. So for this one, I am using a Granny Apple Green card base. Again, it's just a standard card base folded in half, 5.5 by 8.5. And again, I put narrow mats. So this white paper is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then the designer series paper is 4 by 5 1/4. And I've already layered that on there just to get it glued. And so, and again, just like I did with the other one, since I cut off a little portion of the bottom there, I just threw that on the inside of the card. So what I'm going to do, so then I cut a piece of white, just basic white, at 3 3/4 by 5 inches, and I punched out that that larger die cut. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to layer this on here and glue it down. But before I do that, I was going to decorate this a little bit, and hopefully it works. I wanted to use some of those background dies, and I'm going to put away some of my other inks here. I may have to open some up later, but that way I won't get anything in my fingers or on my paper. So I'm taking Granny Apple Green, and I am going to take this the little hashes there, and I'll make sure that I'm getting it. And I'm just going to kind of put it randomly here. And again, there's no real rhyme or reason to how I did that. I just wanted to give it a little bit of extra color. I feel like I need something in there. And up there. And right there. So let me see if I'm gonna like that or not. I'm debating if I want to go over. Yep, I think I'm going to go ahead and go over these as well. Again, just gives it a little little extra color. Now I could go in one of the other things I was thinking of, if I wanted to add like little hearts or something in there as well. But I think I'm just going to leave it like that for now. I am going to put the sentiment up here, and I'm going to use the A Little Something to Brighten Your Day, and I'm going to stamp that in black. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to close that, and I'm going to glue this down to the Designer Series paper. Try to get really thin right in there. Don't want too much. And then try to just do a thin layer down each of the arches of the rainbow. That is the word I was looking at earlier when I was calling it the design of the rainbow, the arches. There we go. Okay, let me... There. Now, I'm going to take some white twine and I'm going to wrap it around several times here. And then I'm gonna give you some extra here to make a bow. There we go. Okay. So this is a really cute set, I have to say. I'm not a big fan of yellows a lot, but I found that, okay, that's not very tight. But I really do like all these bright yellows and blues and greens. It's really pretty. And I'm finding myself liking those bright colors a lot with these rainbows. And of course, rainbows are bright colors, so that is partly what makes it nice. All right, I'm just gonna spread these out a little bit. And actually, move this one up. There we go. I want the bow kind of on top of all of them. Okay, now let me trim the excess, and I just have a nice big fluffy bow, but since this is kind of very thin twine, that works very good. So then I'm just going to take that and glue it to the front of the card. I put a little bit of extra glue, more so than I usually do, partly because the twine's all around there. I could put it up on dimensionals, but I'll be honest, I left such a narrow margin that I really want the glue to give me some room so that I can get everything kind of so it's even all the way across. I'm just going to kind of hold it there for a second to make sure that everything gets adhered and stuck good. And I'm going to mess with my bow a little bit. There we go. Just make it a little bit smaller there. Okay. And there is this card. And again, you could always put something else a little on the inside if you wanted. And here, I'm just going to put a little rainbow of Granny Apple Green there. With some, just going to do some green hearts. Keep it all kind of monochromatic there. There we go. So here is this card. And you could finish it off by putting on a few little butterflies. These are the brushed brass butterflies that will also be in the new mini catalog. And they are very stinking cute. I really like them. There. And they do have substance, but they're thin and they're flat. And so sometimes rhinestones, you know, they can be pointy and go through the envelopes, but these won't because they're very nice and flat. Okay, so that is my last card. So these are the 2 cards that we made. And then again, all these other cards that I made with the Rainbow of Happiness stamp set. So I definitely think it'll be one that will be very cute for people to get. Again, I wasn't sure. I usually don't do a lot of negative dies, but these 2 dies here, again, I'm not sure I'll be using a lot of the inside pieces. You can and glue them into cute little rainbows, but I just love how it looks with the designer series paper poking through. So there we go. Again, just a little sneak peek. These will be the new mini catalog will be available not until January 4th, but just wanted to get you a little sneak peek and kind of show you how all the dies work and how they look to see if that's something that you'd like to get. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to leave comments. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd be happy to help you get these products when they come out in January and get you copies of all of the catalogs. And don't forget to subscribe and again, leave any comments if you want. Thanks for watching.